Welcome to Creative Brews. I'm Kristen, and this is your weekly dose of creativity, where photography, design, and life come together. So, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about what's brewing. Welcome to episode 3. How's everybody doing? I always feel like when I start a new episode that I have to address everybody, like, hey everyone, or welcome, even though I've already basically welcomed everybody with the intro. So, sorry, but sorry, not sorry. So, hope everybody's doing good. Welcome to episode 3. It's a little late, sadly, but that's okay. I mean, better late than never, right? Or however that saying goes. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. In today's episode, I am going to sort of piggyback off of episode 2, where in the beginning of episode 2, or sort of like the beginning, I basically said something about that I could go over like my podcast setup, kind of like a bird's eye view, if that's kind of how you want to look at it. So I figured we would go ahead and do that. Excuse me. So I'm drinking coffee, of course, in my little cat mug. And I was going to say in my meow mug. But take a sip. Cheers. So the coffee that I'm drinking, not to get off, on a different subject, but the coffee that I'm drinking is really good. It's by Summer Moon or Oak City. Oh, no, that's the building. The coffee is by Summer Moon. They're out of Texas, but they're here in North Carolina. Sorry. My throat is dry. But anyways, the coffee is really good. So I'm drinking that. It's called Blue Blazes. Maybe in the next episode, I'll have it here and I'll show you guys, but it is really good. Thought I, would just throw that in there. I think it's like a medium coffee. I'm not really too sure. But anyways, so yeah, the podcast setup. I absolutely know nothing about podcasts. So everything that I've learned, basically I've just learned offline or, talking with people. So this is just basically what works for me right now. What I'll do is I will insert maybe like a clip or cut it in, however I do it. Basically, it'll either be cut in over top of this video or I'll try to kind of like put it in the corner somewhere. But basically, the setup that I have right now is not my permanent setup. This is just to get the ball rolling, to even see if I like it, which so far I really do. So the setup that I have right now is very not permanent whatsoever. Plus, 2, we're planning on moving, hopefully, fingers crossed, later this year, maybe early next year, but somewhere around that time frame. So hopefully whenever we do move, we can get a bigger area and have like a little office and stuff. That would be great. But so, needless to say, the setup that I have right now is not gonna, stay the same. So, basically, how I have it set up is I have a ring light, which is also I'm hoping to change, as I talked about in I think the first episode, maybe the second episode. I talked about lighting. I'm really hoping to get some lighting from aperture lighting instead of having a ring light. But also, too, as you guys can tell, I try to film during the daytime. And realistically, I'd rather be pointed this way because if you don't have good lighting and you plan on doing a video, whether it's a video podcast or just any kind of video that you want to look good, lighting is everything. And I feel like lighting is something that gets left out. So, everybody's all about, oh, the greatest camera, what's the best camera that I can get? What's the best mic that I can get and all this other stuff. But really, it's, you gotta remember the lighting. So, right now, again, like with the lighting, it's not really ideal because if you don't have good lighting, you can look, not that I think I look bad, but you can look bad if that makes any sense. Like, and again, like if you don't have like a fill light, like a source light, and then some fill light, and then like maybe something behind you to kind of create something like interesting lighting wise, then it can really look flat, is what I'm trying to say. Like, forget. Ooh, I just hit my mic. Forget how I look, but the video can really look flat. And so if you do like source lighting, the fill light, and then something interesting behind you, whether it be a candle or something like that, it depends on what you're going for. Again, I think I said something similar in the last episode. It depends on like the mood that you want to give off, So if you wanted to do like warm lighting, just to kind of make everybody feel like laid back and stuff like that, or like really harsh lighting where you want everybody to focus. So yeah, I again need to work on a few things, but again, this is just to get the ball rolling. And it kind of goes in with what I was saying about making what you have work for you, basically. Work with what you've got is the best thing that I guess the best advice that I can give anybody who's just starting or who wants to start. Like, that's the thing, is just start. Because if you don't, then what are you going to do? Wait until you have all the greatest stuff, all the greatest gear, per se. And if you do that, 9 times out of 10, you will most likely never start. So the biggest thing, another big advice thing that I can give anybody is to just start. Basically, yep. So besides the lighting, I've got my ring light. It's on a tripod, and then I've got my camera that's on a separate tripod. So again, I'll insert the video clip. You can kind of see the layout, and I keep hitting my mic. I'm so sorry for the people listening out there. So sorry. But yeah, so camera, ring light. I've got some sort of fill light with the window, and then the the light above me, which, again, not to get hung up about lighting, but lighting, any kind of lighting that's directly above you is going to look terrible because it's going to cause harsh shadows. It's going to make you look like you have wrinkles or like you have bags or like you need to go to sleep. That's how it's basically going to make you look. But that's the reason why I've got that on, and I've got, the window is kind of cracked a little just to kind of give some different light sources since I don't have, money at the moment that I can drop on lighting. I'm actually saving up for lighting. You can kind of make it work, so. And then I've got literally the table that I'm using is like a dinner tray table that you would use, to eat on in your living room while watching TV, while eating dinner. Because I wanted, I knew that I was wanting to do a video podcast. And so I wanted something behind me, something interesting, camera related, and just what I like, my style or whatever. And then, just something interesting behind me. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I can't just like sit here and hold the mic, which I was thinking about doing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this dinner tray because people aren't going to see the table anyway. Like, all I want them to really see is like maybe a little bit of the iPad, definitely the mic. So yeah, it works. Right now, it works. It's not ideal and it's definitely not permanent, so it's just for right now. And then, since my camera is kind of far away, and since I don't have the proper cord needed for my mic to hook into my camera, I have it hooked into my iPad, and then I'm using the voice app, the voice memo app, I think is what it's called, on my iPad that comes with the iPad already. You don't have to download anything or, anything like that. So, again, basically using what I have so that way I can get started, get some episodes out there, get people hopefully listening and hopefully watching. And that way, throughout the episodes and throughout the seasons, the background will change, the whole setup will change. So, yeah, that's basically that. I'm in the living room with a big window. I was going to be in the kitchen, but, I felt like that's not really ideal. Plus, I wanted something behind me, like I said, something interesting, something that kind of gives my style a little bit, So, yeah, basically have all the different, like, lighting and textures and, layers and all that. So, hopefully that all makes sense. I think the video that I insert will really give you some insight on the layout and all that. By the way, I probably should have led with this, but this is going off of the last episode when I asked if anybody would be interested in me going over my podcast setup for right now, and I did get some feedback, so that's really good. So hopefully it helps. But yeah, that's basically my setup for right now. I'm looking to get the cord. I think I need the aux cable. And see, this one is just too short to reach my camera. So, but other than that, mean, I'll probably have this set up for a little while. I might try, because again, I'd rather be pointed that way because there's so much lighting, so much good lighting and natural lighting coming from outside that you can use, and it'd be better to be pointed this way than this way. Because again, you're getting some weird shadows that come on my face. You might not notice it, and again, like someone who's not a photographer, someone who doesn't deal with lighting might be watching and be like, I don't really know what you're talking about. Or they might be listening, and then you really won't know what I'm talking about. But anywho, yeah, that's basically it. This episode will probably be super short, and I'm sorry. But I wanted to just do that so that way I don't talk about too many different things and, it doesn't make sense or the video's really long. So, but yeah, again, to the people who wanted me to go over the podcast layout and stuff like that, if you want me to focus on like a certain thing, just let me know. But I think that really helps, like, to see the layout, and to kind of like me to talk about it and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully it helps, and hopefully everybody's got a beverage or something to sip on, or hopefully a snack or something. So I believe that about wraps it up. I don't think I have anything else to add to that. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. I think in the last episode, my mic, the light on my mic went out. And it's because I discovered that there's a switch on this other side that I hit, basically. And you can kind of cycle through all the different lights. Or you can do rainbow. So yeah. Apparently I hit that. And it like switched the light off, and I thought maybe something happened, but it didn't, thankfully. So yeah, apparently there's a switch on this side, which whenever you grab your mic, you're gonna have to remember that, so then that way you don't switch off the light if you want it on. And then of course there's this light right here, which is pretty cool. If you hit that, it will mute the mic. So yeah. Also, I guess before I do forget, what I can do is maybe list like all the products that I'm using, like the mic and stuff like that, like with links in the description. I'll try to remember to do that, and that way I think that'll help someone who is looking to do a podcast even more, so that way they can go click it, look at it, see if they, want it, or if you don't want like this mic, you could get like a mic like it, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, hope everybody again is doing good, and sorry that this episode hopefully is interesting to someone, to you guys. But I will see you all in the next episode.